Welcome to the Padres Postgame Show on the Padres Radio Network. Coming up, we'll deliver a full recap of today's game, including highlights from the biggest moments. We'll take a trip down to the manager's office to hear from Mike Shildt. Plus, we'll bring you scores from around Major League Baseball. The Padres Postgame Show starts now on the Padres Radio Network.
2-0 from Buehler. The pitch. Tatis swings, sends it in the air, deep center field. Pages is back at the wall, looking up, gonna go! Long home run, well beyond the 396 marker to the right of straightaway center field, and a Mother's Day blast for Tatis, his 8th home run of the year, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead.
Fernando Tatis Jr. set the tone early, a first-inning home run. Jake Cronenworth went back-to-back with him. The Padres had a 2-0 lead after one inning here today at Petco Park, and they go on to cruise to a 4-0 win in the rubber game of this three-game series against the LA Dodgers. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we wrap this one up. The Padres take 2 out of 3 from LA. They win their 4th consecutive series, and that was just the start of the story here tonight. The offense, the 2 runs in the first inning, Xander Bogaerts a home run later in the game. Yu Darvish, 7 brilliant innings in this ball game here today. We will get to all of it as we wrap up this game in this series here at Petco Park. A lot to do on our post-game coverage. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up in just a little bit. I also caught up with Fernando Tatis Jr. on the field right after the game. We'll hear that in a moment. We'll have all the radio highlights, full out-of-town scoreboard, and much, much more to do. But again, we can talk about the home runs, obviously taking a lead early, the back-to-back home runs against Walker Buehler by Tatis and Cronenworth. Those were key in this game. But I think the story today starts with what Yu Darvish continues to do on the mound since returning from the IL. Here today, Yu Darvish, 7 innings, no runs allowed, 2 hits, he walked 1, struck out 7, 101 pitches. He was perfect in this game through 4 2/3 innings, didn't allow a base runner or a hit until the 5th inning, until there were 2 outs in the 5th inning, and he continues to just be marvelous. He's right now on a run of 18 consecutive scoreless innings. That ties a career high for Yu Darvish. So really good stuff from you, and he continues to be absolutely terrific. He was a big part of this win, a huge part of this win here today, and the Padres got a pretty clean win. Really good starting pitching, better than really good. Great starting pitching, early offense. They tacked on in the middle innings, and the bullpen did the rest. And hey, Padres win a series from the Dodgers. They've won 4 consecutive series. They move back above 500 to 22-21. And the Padres in the last week and a half or so, I think no doubt playing as good of baseball as we've seen them play. Really top to bottom throughout this year. That's despite the offense certainly being quieter over the last 5 games. You look at these 5 games, Padres offense only has a grand total of 11 runs, but they're finding ways to win, and again, a big series win against LA here today. Fernando Tatis Jr. had the home run in the first inning to make it 1-0. I caught up with Fernando on the field right after the game.
Fernando, before we get to what you did today, your teammate Yu Darvish, 7 scoreless innings. From your perspective, what did he do so well today?
It was amazing. He had everything going on. He definitely set the tone for us for the first inning. And no credit to him in this game.
You hit the home run in the first inning, got the scoring started. You get ahead in that count 2-0. Walker Buehler throws you a 4-seam fastball. You looked ready for it. What was the key for you in that at-bat?
Just attacking from the first pitch. I feel like whoever got the lead first today was going to take all the advantage for that game. And lucky, that we took the scoring first, and it was just good offense. Attacking from the first inning.
You hit the home run on Mother's Day. Does that make it even more special?
Of course. We play for Mama, and we're here because of her, and I definitely love her, and happy Mother's Day.
You're wearing shoes right now. They say your mom's name. They're pink. They're awesome. Tell me, how'd you get those shoes?
Oh, man, no credit to my team to bring in the ideas, but everything is special when it's for Mom. Happily they came out that swaggy.
Fernando, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you for having me.
That was Fernando Tatis Jr. right after today's game. Fernando wearing cleats today that said his mom's name, Maria Tatis, on them. They're pink, really, really cool shoes. And Fernando hit a 440-plus foot home run for Mom here today. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. And for all the Padres moms out there, the Madres, the fans, Padres fans that are moms, you get what I'm saying? Well, hey. You got to win on Mother's Day. You can't ask for much more than that, and a win against the L.A. Dodgers. So how about that? Padres take 2 out of 3 against L.A. this weekend on what was a beautiful Sunday at Petco Park. A lot to do on our post-game coverage. When we come back, we'll have all the radio highlights for you. We'll also hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. We'll cycle through our daily awards. We'll get you involved as well via the phones, via social media, via the video stream as well. Padres win it 4-0 over the Dodgers as they take 2 out of 3 this weekend here in San Diego. More post-game coverage after this on the Padres Radio Network. Padres win it here today, 4-0 over the L.A. Dodgers. Yu Darvish, a terrific outing, 7 scoreless innings. That was just start of the story here tonight as the Padres, here today on this Mother's Day, as the Padres pick up a win in the rubber game of this 3-game set. Padres have now won 4 consecutive series. They move back above 500 at 22-21. The Padres have also won 8 of their last 11 games. Dodgers, meanwhile, dropping to 27-15. And look, you got to give the Padres some credit here on 2 fronts. This was a Dodger team that came in on a 7-game winning streak. Padres take 2 out of 3. And also a Dodger offense that had been red hot coming in, just outscoring everybody by massive numbers. And you know what? You look at this series, they shut them out here today. They gave up 5 runs yesterday, but 4 of those runs came on one swing. Could have been a very different game, and the Padres held the Dodgers to 1 run on Friday. So was yesterday frustrating? Sure, but you zoom out at this series, And I think you got to be pretty happy with what the Padres did. And quite frankly, anytime you can take 2 out of 3 against this Dodger team right now, you will take it. The Padres have played well against the Dodgers so far this year. They're now 5-3 to begin the season against LA. They won that series in mid-April at Dodger Stadium, and now they take 2 out of 3 again here at Petco Park. Again, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up in just a little bit, so stay tuned for that. But first, let's tell you about this one here at Petco Park.
What moments had the biggest impact on today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game recap on the Padres Radio Network.
After Yu Darvish tossed a 1-2-3 top of the first inning, the Padres offense got to work against Walker Buehler in the bottom half. Fernando Tatis Jr. put the Padres in front.
2-0 from Buehler. The pitch. Tatis swings, sends it in the air, deep center field. Pages is back at the wall, looking up, gonna go! Long home run, well beyond the 396 marker to the right of straightaway center field, and a Mother's Day blast for Tatis, his 8th home run of the year, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead.
Blast was the appropriate word. Fernando Tatis Jr. hit that ball 442 feet, 109 miles per hour off the bat. He crushed it the other way to right center. It was a big-time blast from Fernando Tatis Jr. on this Mother's Day. Padres weren't done. Jake Cronenworth was next.
1-1 hit in the air towards that same spot, deep into right center, and this one's gone. Cronenworth. Oh, now they're going to say in play.
No way. That's a homer.
Throws coming to third. They're going to tag him out. And for the moment, Jake is out. But it certainly looked like it was over the fence. But the second base umpire, Mike Estabrook, gave the safe sign. The center fielder, Pages, threw it back in. And then they got it to Muncy, who tagged Cronenworth out while he was in his trot.
After review, the call's been overturned. It's a home run.
It was a home run for Jake Cronenworth. Pretty obviously a home run as well. The umpires kind of took a little drama out of the play there because they ruled it in play, and then Cronenworth was out for a moment, but immediately on the replay you could see it did clear that fence for Jake Cronenworth. So the Padres had back-to-back home runs in the bottom half of the first inning. Fernando Tatis Jr. his 8th, and Jake Cronenworth his 7th, and just like that it was 2-0. Meanwhile, Yu Darvish was in command early. He was perfect through 4 innings on just 48 pitches. Padres got the offense going against Buehler in the 4th. Jackson Merrill hit a 1-out single. He stole second. Luis Campusano walked. Hassan Kim was hit by a pitch to load the bases. Kim was hit in the left wrist and left forearm area, clearly in a lot of pain. A lengthy evaluation from the Padres athletic training staff. He stayed in. That was it for Buehler. He was replaced by lefty Ryan Yarbrough out of the Dodger bullpen. Luis Arraez hit into a fielder's choice to bring home a run. RBI for Arraez. Padres had a 3-0 lead. That's all the Padres got in the 4th inning. Kim, though, was forced out at second base on that fielder's choice. He then came out of the game, replaced by Tyler Wade at shortstop. We'll give you an update on Hassan Kim when we get it. We may hear Mike Shildt talk about it here coming up. So when we have the update on Kim and what the deal is with him after he was hit by a pitch, we'll pass it along or hear about it from Mike Shildt here. So, again, back to the game. Padres had a 3-0 lead. Yu Darvish allowed his first base runner and hit in the top of the 5th inning, but threw up another 0 in that inning. 5 scoreless innings for Yu Darvish. Padres then added on in the bottom half of the 5th, courtesy of Xander Bogaerts.
Here's the 2-2. Xander swings, hits it in the air to deep left center field. Hernandez back to watch. It's gonna go! There you go! Xander Bogaerts snaps an 0 for 7 center field. And the Padres add on. It's 4-0.
His first home run in 18 games, and like Jesse alluded to, snapping an 0 for 17. Great moment for Xander. Padres had a 4-0 lead. Yu Darvish continued to be a big story in this game. He worked around a 1-out double for a scoreless 6th inning. He then returned to the mound for the 7th. He got a ground out. He struck out Max Muncy for out number 2. Then Darvish polished a terrific day off against Andy Pages.
0-2 to Andy Pages. Everybody on their feet, and the pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. Darvish finishes strong. Back-to-back Ks to end the 7th. And for the second time this year, Yu Darvish gets through 7 innings.
Padres still had that 4-0 lead. The final line today for Yu Darvish: 7 scoreless innings, 2 hits, 1 walk. He struck out 7 on 101 pitches. Wandy Peralta came in. Top of the 8th inning, Padres still ahead 4-0. He got the first 2 outs, but then things got a little bit dicey. Austin Barnes reached on a single, Mookie Betts reached on an infield single, and all of a sudden, the Dodgers were a base runner away from putting the tying run at the plate. It was Peralta against Freddie Freeman.
8th pitch of the at-bat, he's yet to throw him the changeup. The 3-2 is taken, and strike 3 called. Rung him up to end the inning.
So a big strikeout for Wandy Peralta. Padres still led 4-0 going to the 9th inning. Robert Suarez put the finishing touch on a series win.
Here's another 2-2 and a swing and a miss. The Padres have shut out the Dodgers for the first time since 2018. They win a 4th consecutive series by taking 2 out of 3 from LA. Yu Darvish 7 shutout frames. Pods hit back-to-back homers in the bottom of the 1st inning, and that's all they needed as they beat the Dodgers 4-0 here this afternoon.
Final score here today, once again, Padres 4, Dodgers nothing. 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for San Diego. LA, no runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Padres again 22-21. Dodgers dropped to 27-15. A very well-deserved win for Yu Darvish, who improves to 3-1. Walker Buehler took the loss. He drops to 0-1 this season. By the way, before we hear from Mike Shildt, because we did miss the very beginning of Mike Shildt's post-game press conference, we had just some technical difficulties, so we apologize for that, but we still have most of what Mike Shildt had to say after the game today. So I'm not sure if this was addressed in what we missed or not, but I do want to pass it along. A tweet here from our friend AJ Casville of MLB.com. AJ tweeting, X-rays were negative on Kim's left wrist, according to Mike Shildt. So that is very, very good news. Hassan Kim did have X-rays at some point after he came out. They were negative. Very, very good news there. With that in mind, and after today's win, let's go downstairs here at Petco Park and hear some post-game reaction.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Presented by Sinley Food. Spice up your culinary life.
You left him in and then took him out. Can you just walk us through that part of it?
Well, I mean, listen to the player. I mean, I wouldn't say it's typical, but somebody's dealing with something that's not a lower extremity issue. They can usually finish running the bases. And, like Mark Roger, our trainer, had said immediately, starting to get feeling back. So you give it the opportunity during the time on the bases, then it's an evaluation. And, we clearly made the decision to go with waiting.
Xander's at-bats have been better lately, but
yes, sir.
Get some payoff on one.
Yes.
How big could that be for him going forward?
Huge, right? And I'm glad you said the word payoff. I mean, heck, we took in a lot of good swings again. We feel good about the 4 we put up. Guys put good swings, including bogey, but had great swings yesterday. A lot of great swings today. We at least were able to hit them where they weren't over the fences for a couple 3 balls with Toddy, Crony, and you mentioned Bogey, but Bogey's a gold star guy that last 2 days have been really, really good. And seeing the ball in the barrel a lot. It's a great sign.
What was your view on that Cronenworth home run and kind of the way it was ruled and everything?
Well, I don't see great. I'm more Mr. Magoo. I hear better than I can see. So, I'm the wrong guy. I went out and Tripp's like, what'd you see? I'm like, Tripp, I couldn't, no chance to see that. But we got the replay verdict and people on the field pretty good about it. And, their outfitters weren't clamoring too much, so we felt pretty good about it.
Darvish today, but really the rotation the whole last time through has been pretty excellent. What do you kind of make of how big that's been at this time of the season to get with the outings you've got?
Yeah, no, it's important. I mean, listen, again, the starting pitching's the anchor to a club. I mean, listen, we've been able to win a lot of different ways. We're going to continue to look to win a lot of different ways, but the equation for consistency and winning is getting that starting pitching to go deep into games and give us a chance and us to be able to do our part on the offense and defensive side to support it along with the base running. So, another quality start today.
I know you've often chosen to focus on yourselves, but to beat a team that's as good as what the Dodgers have been, and to do so again for a second time this season, what does that mean to you guys in terms of where you're trying to get to?
Yeah, I just think it creates clarity of we play our game, we play the way we're supposed to play, and we compete and execute regardless of opponent. I mean, clearly it's a good club over there. We're not going to minimize that, but every team we're going to face is a quality ball club. They're big leaguers, so we got to go out and play the game right. And, when you do that, you throw strikes and you make the routine plays. We played good defense overall for the whole series, ran the bases smart and aggressive, and, like I said, pitched really well, and, we're able to shake hands. That's the recipe.
Campy's been really good behind the plate. I think it's the last 9 starts he's had. Your starting pitchers have only allowed 3 total runs. What is clicking with him right now in the way he's calling games? And how much work has he put in really with the starting pitchers? Not trusting before.
A ton of work. Yeah, I applaud Campy. Glad you brought it up because he's growing. Listen, he's experience is something you draw from, and some people don't draw from it as quickly as he is. And the thing I applaud about Campy is he's consistently aware of what he's doing, how he's doing, what his preparation looks like. But also, to your point, his communication with our pitchers is really, really good. His synergy and communication with our staff, pitching coach Ruben Niebla, working not only before the series, but as the series goes. Higgy chimes in too, and also, Brian Esposito, our catching coach. Just a constant dialogue of what you're seeing and just how we're thinking about working together. And that's when, when the staff works together and you got a catcher that's shepherding that, you get positive things like that. He's done a tremendous job.
You guys pitched, hit, stole bases, little hiccup defensively at the end, but played good defense all day,
Yep.
added on. Peralta handed the baton.
Yep.
All things considered, given the circumstance, was this as complete a win as you might have had this season?
I don't think so. I think we've had a lot of them. I think it may be magnified in some people's perception of the opponent, but we played a lot of good baseball games. I've said coming here or on the road a fair amount and said, well played all phases. I think we've done that. Now it's a matter of the consistency of it. But we've done a lot of things really well offensively in concert with our pitching, and we've run the bases well all year. Our defense has been good, and but to your point, the pitching and the hitting going together is important. But I felt like the last game, first game of series here was indicative of that, but also the last game in Chicago was the 3-0 game there was a part of that as well. So it's another example of how we look to play.
You're right that people will look at this as a win in the Dodgers series and actually 2 series in a row, but this is your 4th straight series win as a group. Do you sense some of that momentum, feel it? Do they feel that in the clubhouse, that this is a broader thing than one weekend against the Dodgers at this point?
I feel like that's the case for sure. I mean, we've talked about it quite a bit, better as the game goes, better as the series goes, better as the season goes. And, the fact of the matter is we're looking to win series, and that's what we're looking to do, and that's what we've been able to do. It's what we expect to continue to be able to do. And, the reality is you learn to win series and you play that kind of baseball. When you get in the playoffs, you need to win series to get the big championship ring. So, that's why we're here.
Yeah, Petco Park, a 3-game series, all-time attendance. Talk about that and how the atmosphere was.
Unbelievable. This place is special. This is, clearly a baseball town and establishing itself as a really, really good baseball town in the league. And the excitement and the passion of our fan base is something that we really are grateful and appreciate. And, it's good to play well in front of our home fans. The other thing I said on the road that I've noticed also, I said in Chicago, is the way this fan base either travels or has support across the country. It's getting to a place which is a really good place for this organization and this franchise to have that kind of following when you're on the road. And we're going into road ballparks regardless of part of the country, and we're seeing a lot of Padre fans, and that's a good feeling and says a lot about the organization and where we're going. Yes, ma'am.
I believe Japanese friends in Japan, very early morning, they are so excited because Darvish one more win to go to his milestone.
Yes.
Professional 200. So what do you comment on that?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, he did a nice job today for his 199th professional win, and we're excited about the next opportunity to get him that milestone. It's a very impressive one, a hard one to accomplish, and so it speaks well. And let's get one more, and then we'll celebrate it.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after today's game. Padres beat the LA Dodgers 4-0 here at Petco Park. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building as we wrap this one up. A very, very nice win for the Padres here today as they take 2 out of 3 from the LA Dodgers. And I want to just focus on one of the elements that Mike Shildt talked about there, and that being how good the starting pitching was this turn through the rotation. How about this? Today marked the fourth consecutive outing where the Padres starters allowed 2 hits or fewer in at least 5 innings. The Padres are the first team to have 4 consecutive starts like that, again, of going at least 5 innings with 2 hits allowed or fewer since 1893. 1893. That's per Elias. So that is how good Padres starting pitching has been for the most part. That includes Matt Waldron yesterday. That includes what Michael King did on Friday. That includes what Dylan Cease did on Wednesday in Chicago. I mean, they have been pretty darn good here over the course of this last turn through the rotation. And again, have the Padres been absolutely perfect in the last 11 games? No, but they're doing a lot of good things and doing what a good team does, and that is find ways to win baseball games, even if it has to be a little bit different day in, day out. Padres, again, have won 8 of their last 11, a 4th consecutive series win here today. And how about this? The Padres, by beating the Dodgers here today, it's the first time they've won a home series against the Dodgers since June of 2021. So, look, Dodgers obviously are a good team. I don't know that anybody inside that clubhouse is going to make too big a deal out of beating the Dodgers rather than just making it another series against the divisional opponent, long season ahead. But no doubt it's got to feel good to beat the Dodgers again, take another series from them. Padres have played well against them. And, hey, you want to win series like this, you imagine it builds confidence, and certainly the Padres put together a very nice 4-0 win here today. The 3 home runs by Tatis, Cronenworth, and Bogarts, and then maybe the main storyline of this one, Yu Darvish, absolutely masterful on the mound. 7 scoreless innings, 2 hits allowed. He struck out 7 on 101 pitches. Much more to do on our post-game coverage. When we come back, we'll continue to break down this game. We'll also let you get involved on our post-game coverage. You can do that in a number of different ways. You can tweet at me at Sammy Lev, SAMMYLEV. You can also Instagram DM me, Sammy Lev there too, SAMMYLEV, if you want to get involved that way. You can also, if you're watching on our fancy new video stream on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you can comment about today's game. I'll cycle through some of those as we go along during our post-game coverage. And as always, if you want to get involved on the phones, phone number to call, 833-288-0973. Again, the phone number, 833-288-0973. 0973. Padres win it 4-0 over the Dodgers in this series finale here today at Petco Park. Post-game show continues after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. Padres beat the LA Dodgers today by a final score of 4-0. Yu Darvish, absolutely terrific. 7 scoreless, brilliant, outstanding, terrific innings, whatever adjective you want to use here today. Just 2 hits allowed, striking out 7, walking 1, and then the bullpen did the rest. Wandy Peralta, scoreless 8th inning. Robert Suarez continues his excellent work, a scoreless 9th inning, and the Padres come away with a series win. They take 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. They've got the Rockies, the red-hot Rockies, coming to town. Rockies just finished up a 3-game sweep of the Rangers, so the Rockies playing really, really well right now, but they'll begin a 3-game series against one another tomorrow here at Petco Park. We'll have more on tomorrow's game and that series coming up here in just a little bit. By the way, just a note on the crowd here today, because it is worth noting. Today's attendance, 43,881. It was the 12th sellout of the season. That brought this weekend's total, the 3-game series against LA, to 133,970. That's a new record for a 3-game series at Petco Park. That beats the previous record of 133,856 from April of 2022. So today's attendance, 43,881, 12 sellout of the year, and it made it a new record for a 3-game series at Petco Park. So great atmosphere here today. They had a lot to cheer about. The home runs, the way Yu Darvish pitched, and the Padres get a very nice 4-0 win. We'll take your phone calls, 833-288-0973. We'll also get you involved on Twitter, Instagram DMs if you want to message me on either of those platforms. Sammy Lev, SAMMYLEV, and of course on our video streams as well. If you want to comment there, you can do that. We'll cycle through some of those coming up in a little bit. Let's go to the phones while we have a moment. Let's begin things here today in Carlsbad. It's Brandon on the Padres Radio Network. Hi, Brandon.
Sam, great to talk to you. Another great series win, and I understand what you're saying as far as not getting too hyped up about beating the opponent we just beat. But from a fan's perspective, when they come here and they come in droves and they march through our city with impunity yesterday, and the way they act at our local bars, now granted, great, they bring us commerce, they bring us an economy, and they go to our restaurants. Put that aside. You know, a lot of the season ticket holders start going to these Dodgers games. It's ridiculous to look in these stands and just see blue. I know they're dominant. They're not too far away. But it's nice to send them back up north, the 5 freeway, to that armpit they came from. I don't want to dumb this series win down. Let's go Padres.
Brandon, appreciate the phone call, and totally fair. Totally fair. Fans, you should be fired up. I think the point I was just getting at was, I think if you ask most guys in that clubhouse, they would probably downplay it a little bit. Just because it's a long year, and I don't know that you try to make too much out of a series in May against this LA team. But look, there's no doubt about it. From the fan perspective, I totally understand. You want to beat this team. You want to beat this Dodger team up in LA. And when the fans come down here, and you want to be able to, talk a little smack. I totally get it, Brandon. So I think the point I was making was more just from the baseball perspective, but I get it from the fan perspective. Yeah, be fired up, of course. You should feel great about taking 2 out of 3 from this Dodger team, about taking 2 out of 3 from this Dodger team in LA last month. The fact that the Padres have won a couple of series against this team, absolutely. So fans, you should be fired up. I don't want to, rain on your parade at all. So I guess the point I was making, just more from the player perspective. But, yes, from the fan perspective, absolutely. You should be very, very fired up. And, yes, the Padres themselves, they should be very happy about taking 2 out of 3 from this Dodger team. No doubt about it. So, absolutely, be fired up. Very, very good series win here today. Absolutely, no doubt about it. And it doesn't matter how you got it done. The fact that you were able to take 2 out of 3 hopefully provides a major spark for this team moving forward. You certainly hope so. All right, let's quickly tell you about our player of the game.
Which player had the biggest impact on today's game? Let's find out who is today's player of the game. Presented by Valley View Casino and Hotel. Catch every game at Patties and Pints. Plus, enjoy $4 beer every Thursday. Visit valleyviewcasino.com today.
Player of the game here today on the Padres radio network. I think no doubt about it, Yu Darvish. 7 shutout innings. He was absolutely terrific in this game. Dominant, in control. He was perfect through 4 2/3 in this game. Terrific performance from Yu Darvish. And right now, he has tied a career high of 18 consecutive scoreless innings. That actually goes back to before he was on the IL. And the thing with you that is so encouraging is simply the way he's pitched since coming off the IL. It's now 17 scoreless innings since coming off the IL. 5 scoreless, then 5 scoreless again. And here today, he was pushed a little bit more to 101 pitches and ends up putting together just a brilliant outing. So no doubt about it here today, Yu Darvish, our player of the game. Was that relief? Frank in my ear, tell me, was that relief that we played? I usually do relief there. Okay, it was player of the game. We'll do relief a little bit later. I threw Frank a curveball back in the studio, and Frank hit the curveball out of the park. Nice job, Frank. Went out of order. It happens. All right, we'll step aside here on the Padres Radio Network. 4-0, the Padres beat the LA Dodgers here today. When we come back, we'll continue to take your phone calls if you want to get them in. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. The phone number to call if you want to get involved on social media or via the video comments, you can do that as well. More post-game coverage coming up after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score here today, Padres 4, Dodgers nothing, as the Padres take 2 out of 3 from L.A. Very, very good series win for San Diego. Sam Levitt with you inside our, not San Diego studios, that was about to come out of my mouth, inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. As we wrap this one up, Padres will begin a 3-game series against the Colorado Rockies starting tomorrow. Much more on that coming up a little bit later. We've already done a lot here on the post-game show. We've had the radio highlights for you. We'll have a couple replays of those as we go along here. We also will play my interview with Fernando Tatis Jr. once again, and we heard from Padres manager Mike Shildt. So we've cycled through a lot of stuff here already. As always, if you miss any of our post-game show, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast. Search it up on the Odyssey app or wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can also always, and this is a new feature now that we're streaming on video via YouTube. We got a lot of viewers on YouTube. You can always, right after the show is over, or even live, quite frankly, you can go back and watch anything on demand. So that's another great way if you want to catch up on the pregame and postgame coverage. So a number of different ways you can go back and watch whatever you want on demand, listen to whatever you want on demand. Do want to take a YouTube comment here. Enrique saying, hey, Sammy, great win. Our starters did an excellent job. The 3 games, King, Waldron, and Darvish were outstanding. Let's keep it up because a tough series comes against the Rockies that just swept the Rangers. Yes, I said it earlier, Enrique. Rockies playing well right now. But look, your point is well taken. The starting pitching in this series was great. Darvish, 7 scoreless innings here today. Like we alluded to yesterday, we talked about it a lot. Matt Waldron, he was good. He did his job yesterday against this Dodger lineup. 5 innings and a third, 2 runs given up. One of those runs came on the grand slam allowed by De Los Santos to Teoscar Hernandez. So really, when he came out of the game, he was 5 and a third, 1 run given up. And then Friday, Michael King was just outstanding. 7 scoreless innings, 11 strikeouts. And by the way, I thought a really great interview with Michael King before today's game. If you missed that, it is also up on that Inside San Diego Baseball podcast feed. So go check it out. It was really, really good stuff talking about his outing on Friday and more. But again, think about this. 3 out of the last 4 games, the pitching performances. Again, we talked about it during our last segment. But Dylan Cease, 7 shutout innings on Wednesday with 12 strikeouts. On Friday against this Dodger lineup, Michael King, 7 scoreless innings with 11 strikeouts. Darvish, 7 scoreless innings with 7 strikeouts here today. So between Darvish, King, and Cease, their turn through the rotation this time around, 21 scoreless innings with 30 strikeouts. And they gave up a grand total of 1, 3, 5 hits. That'll work. Padres pitch like that out of their rotation, that'll work. Padres are going to win a lot of games that way. So really, really well done here today by the starting pitcher, Darvish, and obviously through the rotation this last time around. They've been really, really good. By the way, we have one more video comment here I want to address. Caleb saying, Sam, my key to the game, and I remember this, Caleb. I think I may have read this. Said, my key to the game was spot on. Be patient at the plate, and Tatis goes yard. And look, it's great to see Fernando not only hit the home run, but go to right center. And when Fernando's going right, both figuratively and literally, when he's going right at the plate and he's also going to right field with power, that typically spells good things for Fernando Tatis Jr. And look, Fernando's been hitting the ball better entering today. I talked about it pregame. Fernando entering today, in his past 8 games before today, he was hitting .343. So he had been hitting it better, and then here today, the home run. One guy I also want to talk about before it slips my mind, and I haven't mentioned it at all, so I apologize. Jackson Merrill, what a day for him. 3 for 3, 2 stolen bases. Not 3 for 3, pardon me. 3 hits in this game. He was actually 3 for 4 in this ball game. Yeah, 3 for 4, pardon me. 3 for 4, but still 3 hits, 2 stolen bases, scored a run. Great day for Jackson Merrill, who You look up and it's now May 12th, and he's a 20 to 21-year-old playing in the big leagues with as limited minor league experience at the upper levels as he had entering this season. The fact that this guy is hitting .282 right now, that's very good, I think. It's really, really good. So hopefully a sign of things to come for Jackson Merrill. Great day for him. 3 hits, a run scored, and a couple of stolen bases. The bullpen also a story in this game. Let's tell you more about it with our relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher was able to come in and slam the door shut? It's time for the relief pitcher of the game in support of the Jacobs and Cushman San Diego Food Bank, providing food assistance to local children, families, and seniors in need. To get help or give help, visit SanDiegoFoodBank.org.
8th pitch of the at-bat. He's yet to throw him the changeup. The 3-2 is taken, and strike 3 called. Rung him up to end the inning.
Wandy Peralta will be our relief pitcher of the game here today, and I'll tell you why. And I was talking to Frank back in the studio, and Frank thought it should be Robert Suarez. He said, it's got to be Suarez. What are you saying? It's got to be Peralta. I said, no, I'm going to give it to Peralta, and, I call the shots here on the postgame, so Frank begrudgingly is going along with me here. But here's why I give it to Wandy Peralta. Even though Robert Suarez didn't allow a base hit in the 9th inning, he was great. He's been great. The reason I give it to Wandy, he got the first 2 outs, a single for Barnes, an infield single for Mookie Betts. But that's a point right there in a 4-0 game in the 8th inning, where if Wandy does not strike out Freddie Freeman, that gets really, really dicey with Will Smith coming up representing the tying run, and he's certainly somebody that could tie the game with one swing. So even though Peralta worked himself into the jam a little bit, gave up the couple of hits, albeit one of them an infield single to Betts, I'll tell you what, in that moment, despite letting the couple of hits happen, that's a big, big spot for Wandy Peralta. You do not at all want the tying run stepping to the plate in Will Smith. So Wandy's ability on what was a 3-2 pitch, by the way, to Freddie Freeman to get him looking, that was a big moment late in this game. It totally stunted the Dodgers' rally and ended the inning, obviously. So for that reason, my pick here today for relief pitcher of the game, Wandy Peralta. Maybe yours out there is Robert Suarez, but guess what? Padres postgame show, I make the rules, and I make the picks. But, sometimes I do let you pick it out there via the Twitter polls, too. So I do let you pick it out there. To me today, it's Wandy Peralta. Maybe the fan vote would have been Robert Suarez. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the Bigs and tell you about the scores you need to know in our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Meat, where great taste meets integrity.
We take a look at the full out-of-town scoreboard today. We have everything final aside from the Sunday night baseball game. Braves ahead of the Mets 1-0 in New York in the 3rd inning there. But everything else is done. Diamondbacks beat the Orioles 9-2 in Baltimore earlier today. Cubs beat the Pirates 5-4 in 10 in Pittsburgh. Red Sox beat the Nationals 3-2 at Fenway Park earlier. Twins beat the Blue Jays in Toronto 5-1. Carlos Santana, a home run for Minnesota in that one. Astros beat the Tigers 9-3 in Detroit. Kyle Tucker, now the major league leader in home runs, his 13th of the year in that game. Yankees beat the Rays 10-6 in Tampa Bay. Aaron Judge, his 10th home run of the season in that one. Final in 10, Marlins beat the Phillies 7-6 as the Marlins walk it off. Guardians beat the White Sox 7-0 in Chicago. Andres Gimenez, David Fry, a couple of home runs in that game for the Guardians. Cardinals beat the Brewers 4-3 in Milwaukee. Rockies completed a sweep of the Rangers. They beat them 3-1 in Colorado. Ezekiel Tovar, a 2-run home run in that game. Giants beat the Reds in San Francisco in 10, 6-5. Casey Schmidt, the walk-off hit in that game for San Francisco. Royals beat the Angels 4-2 in Anaheim. And the final game to tell you about, Mariners beat the A's 8-4 in Seattle. Julio Rodriguez, a home run in that game for Seattle. And that's a look at the full out-of-town scoreboard on this Sunday. By the way, the home run for Rodriguez, Julio Rodriguez, that was just his second home run of the year. It's been a tough year so far for Julio Rodriguez in the power department. Now, he had not been swinging it well overall for a while. His batting average is up to 255. His OPS is only 633. But again, today marked just his second home run of the season. But like I said, Mariners go on to win it against the A's 8-4 in Seattle. When we come back on the Padres Radio Network, we'll hear our play of the game one more time. We'll also revisit my conversation after the game down on the field with Fernando Tatis Jr. We'll wrap things up, get you ready for the series opener against the Rockies tomorrow. If you want to squeeze a phone call in, you can, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. I've also got a few tweets and Instagram DMs to get to here as well. So if you want to get me on there, Sammy Lev, SAMMYLEV on either of those platforms. We'll cycle through perhaps some more of your video comments as well. So we'll hear from you. We'll wrap things up as the Padres win it 4-0 over the Dodgers on this Sunday, on this Mother's Day. A happy Mother's Day for the Padres. And they pick up a series win, 2 out of 3 against L.A. Postgame show continues after this. Our postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building. Final score in the rubber match of this three-game series. The Padres 4 and the Dodgers nothing. Still some things to do on our postgame coverage. We'll have our play of the game in just a second. We'll also replay my interview with Fernando Tatis Jr. as the Padres again win a fourth consecutive series. Padres continue to play over the last week and a half now. Some good baseball, no doubt about it. They've now won 8 of their last 11 games. Padres are back above 500 at 22-21. And look, despite the Rockies playing pretty well right now, they're going to enter Petco Park coming off a 3-game sweep of the Texas Rangers, the defending world champions. Even with that, you I think can still say good opportunity for the Padres this week to stay above 500 and go win another series, and we'll see if they can do that against the Rockies. But again, fourth consecutive series win today for the Padres. They've won 8 of their last 11 games. We'll see if they can keep it rolling. The first time here today, or I should say the first time that the Padres have won a home series against the Dodgers since a 3-game sweep in late June of 2021. So good stuff for the Padres. Again, they're now sitting at a record of 5-3 against LA. They've split the 2 games in Korea. They won 2 out of 3 in LA in April, and now they've won 2 out of 3 here at home. So hopefully a confidence builder, a momentum builder for the Padres. Speaking of momentum, Fernando Tatis Jr. provided some offensive momentum early in this game. Let's hear our play of the game.
What was the crucial play that determined who came out on top? This is today's Play of the Game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
2-0 from Buehler. The pitch. Tatis swings, sends it in the air, deep center field. Has his back at the wall, looking up, gonna go! Long home run, well beyond the 396 marker to the right of straightaway center field, and a Mother's Day blast for Tatis, his 8th home run of the year, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead.
Fernando Tatis Jr. providing our play of the game. That gave the Padres, like Jesse said, a 1-0 lead. Jake Cronenworth went back-to-back with them to make it 2-0. Xander Bogaerts later, a home run, a solo shot, his first in a while, to make it 4-0. That would end up being plenty in this game as the Padres cruise to a 4-0 win. But Fernando Tatis Jr., our play of the game here today. Why not? Big day for Fernando on this Mother's Day. He was wearing cleats today that said his mom's name, Maria Tatis, on it. Really, really cool. And I asked Fernando about that during my post-game conversation with him. We're going to play that for you in a moment here. We'll replay that, then get out of here. But let's first just squeeze in a couple of phone calls before we go. Some people waiting on hold. Let's go to Brad in La Mesa calling in. Hi, Brad. You're on the Padres post-game show. What's up?
Hey, Sam. Just wanted to piggyback on what I said about 3 weeks ago or so when I called in. I'm the guy who grew up in the Boston area, and Xander was huge when we won the World Series when he came up as a rookie. And I didn't like that error at the end, but he's going to be there. You don't give up on him. I love the trajectory of this team. I love what Mike Shildt is doing. I'm old school. My son doesn't quite agree with me, but I just love what the Padres are doing. And you play every series to win that series.
Yeah.
And they're on the right track.
Yeah, Brad, appreciate the phone call. Look, I agree with you on you're just trying to win series right now. It's what I said after the game last night. I mean, look, was it frustrating last night's game? Yeah, but you still had an opportunity to win the series today. And to me, especially with how tough this schedule has been for the Padres, that's the goal right now. Go win series. Go take 2 out of 3. If you do that, you're going to be okay. So they've done that now 4 consecutive times. They've done that against, I think, 4 pretty good teams. Now, look, the Reds have not played well at all since they were here. But I think they're going to be in the mix for one of those wild card spots, maybe even their division. Who knows when all is said and done. I do think they're going to be a pretty good team when all is said and done. You win a series against the Reds, I think the Diamondbacks will end up being better. You win a series against them, you win the series against the Cubs. Another team I think is going to be in the postseason mix, and obviously the Dodgers are going to be in that postseason mix. So 4 consecutive series wins. You want to win series. I agree with you. That should be the focus this part of the season. And quickly on Bogaerts, look, nice moment for Xander today. You hope it's a sign of things to come. He actually had 2 hits. He had a single a little bit later in the game. You hope it's a sign. You hope it's a sign of Xander coming out of this slump. It's been a tough go of it the first 40-plus games. There's no doubt about it. He snapped an over 17 today with that home run. He had not hit a home run in 18 games. Look, I agree with you, Brad. I think Xander is too good of a player over the course of his career to hit like this for a whole lot longer. You hope today is the start of him turning it around. And I talked about it pregame today. Even last year for Xander, despite a good chunk of the season in the middle where he didn't hit well. And I think the wrist certainly played a factor in it. But you looked at his final numbers, not that they were exactly what you want, but he did hit 285. Like, he rebounded because of the great start he had and the great finish. And look, I've been surprised that this has gone the way it's gone this year, the early part, and seemingly Xander's healthy, because I just think that the track record shows he's a lot better than what he's been. And I do have some, more than some, I have a lot of faith in that when you have a guy who has been as good of a hitter year in, year out as Xander has been, that he will find his way, and you hope that's the start of it today. We'll see what he does tomorrow. We'll see what he does in this series against the Rockies, but personally, I have faith that Xander's going to figure this out and start playing like the player he's been in Boston. But look, it's obviously been a tough start to the season, but I do have faith in that. I do. I think his track record speaks for itself, and I think when you have that kind of track record, it will eventually come around, and the best go through slumps. It happens. They go through extended slumps. It happens. He's not the only guy to go through it. Obviously, he had a tough stretch last year as well for an extended period, but I do believe deep down that Xander is going to turn this around. Let's go to Spring Valley. It's Renee on the Padres postgame show. Hi, Renee.
Hey, Sam. Good to talk with you again. You know what? Exactly about Xander. I keep telling my son, he's going to come out of it. I'm not even worried about Xander. He's going to mash when it's time to mash, and it's going to matter the most when he does it. But yeah, I agree. I also liked what our manager said when he says, yeah, well, people get excited because of the opponent we have, but to us, it's just another game. It's just another series. This is what we're doing right now, and everybody's stepping up. But the one thing I wanted to say, Ren, is Manny Machado is insane at third base. Has anybody played it? Okay, he didn't hit the game-winning home run. He didn't do anything crazy at the bat. But that fool can play some third base. It's amazing to watch. It's incredible, and remember a couple weeks ago when I talked to you last, and I said, man, we're taking our lunch right now, Sammy.
Yeah.
And, you were good to take it off air and continue the dialogue with me as I listened and say, yeah, well, we got this coming and we got that coming. And I was like, yeah, we'll bring them on. Like I tell my son, we got to beat the best to be the best. And right now we're thumping, And, yeah, of course, we all wanted to keep continuing on. And my mid-game, unprofessional diagnosis of Kim's, hit on the wrist was, I was like, oh, God. And I said, that's 6 weeks. Thank God it's not. Right?
Yeah.
But I was concerned, and so, hey, we got out of this unscathed, amazing, and, oh, my God, our pitching is incredible. It's a beautiful – hey, happy Mother's Day, Sammy.
Thank you, Renee. Appreciate that. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. And, Renee, thank you for the phone call. Renee, a lot to get to there. Look, just quickly, yes, you're right. Starting pitching has been great this trip through the rotation. You hope it stays that way. In particular, Darvish, King, and Cease. They were awesome this trip through the rotation. And look, a big deal for this team, no doubt, is the fact that Yu Darvish, since coming off the IL, looks like Yu Darvish again. And he has been terrific coming off the IL. That is a very, very big deal. Look, I think you said the word thumping. I don't know, Renee, that they're thumping teams right now. That's okay. Look, a good baseball team, you're not going to go out and you're not going to score 7-8 runs a night. But what good teams do, they find ways to win. When you're winning consistently, when you put together a run, when you put together a streak, it means you find some different ways to win night in, night out. And look, the Padres have won 8 of 11. Has it all been perfect? No. Has the bullpen been shaky at times? Yes. Has the offense been quiet at times? Yes. Look, Padres have only scored 11 runs in their last 5 games. It's not all perfect right now, but they're finding ways, and that does say something. 8 of their last 11 games they've won. They've won 4 consecutive series. Just keep doing what you're doing if you're the Padres right now. Keep playing good, pretty clean baseball. Keep getting good starting pitching. That is such a big part of all of it. When you get the quality of starting pitching they've got lately, that makes it a lot easier to win games. And it makes the margin for error, I think, a little bit bigger when you talk about offense, when you talk about creating runs. It's less pressure on your offense, night in, night out. So keep doing what you're doing. They're playing good baseball right now for the most part. The record says that. They're beating some good teams right now. The record says that. Keep doing what you're doing. Rockies coming in. Good opportunity to beef up a little bit and pick up some wins. So, hey, big series still coming up against the Rockies. We'll tell you more about tomorrow's game and that series against the Rockies in a moment. Before we go, in case you missed it at the top of our post-game show, I want to play it again. Here was my conversation with Fernando Tatis Jr. after the game. Fernando hit his 8th home run of the season in the first inning, a solo shot to make it 1-0 on this Mother's Day. Here was my chat with Fernando.
Fernando, before we get to what you did today, your teammate Yu Darvish, 7 scoreless innings. From your perspective, what did he do so well today?
It was amazing. Yeah, everything going on. He definitely set the tone for us for the first inning. No credit to him in this game.
You hit the home run in the first inning, got the scoring started. You get ahead in that count 2-0. Walker Buehler throws you a four-seam fastball. You looked ready for it. What was the key for you in that at-bat?
Just attacking to run the first pitch. I feel like whoever got the lead first today was going to take all the advantage for that game. And lucky, that we took the scoring first, and it was just good offense. Attacking from the first inning.
You hit the home run on Mother's Day. Does that make it even more special?
Of course. We play for Mama, and we're here because of her, and I definitely love her, and happy Mother's Day.
You're wearing shoes right now. They say your mom's name. They're pink. They're awesome. Tell me, how'd you get those shoes?
Oh, man, no credit to my team to bring in the ideas, but everything is special when it's for Mom. Happily they came out that swaggy.
Fernando, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you for having me.
That was Fernando Tatis Jr. right after the game. Big thanks to Fernando for joining me on this Mother's Day and for a Padres win. Padres win it 4-0 against the Dodgers. Let's quickly pause for station ID on the Padres Radio Network.
KWFN-FM and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Hey, this is Mike Shildt. You're listening to Padres Baseball on Padres Radio Network.
An Odyssey Sports Station.
Sam Levitt with you here inside the loft at the Western Metal Building as the Padres win it today 4-0 over the Dodgers. Every Sunday is Military Sunday, and we want to take time to recognize and thank all military members for their amazing dedication and service. San Diego County Toyota dealers, proud partners of the Padres, are honored to support San Diego's military community. Taking a look ahead to tomorrow, start of a 3-game series against the Colorado Rockies. Starting pitching matchup tomorrow, right-hander Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres, right-hander Dakota Hudson on the mound for the Rockies. First pitch tomorrow at 6:40, our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show begins at 5:40. Certainly hope you can join us then. Taking a look at the final totals here today in the final game of this 3-game set. The Padres, 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. They left on 8. The Dodgers, no runs, 4 hits, no errors. They left on 6. Winning pitcher, Yu Darvish, who improves to 3-1. Losing pitcher was Walker Buehler, who drops to 0-1. Time of game, 2 hours, 35 minutes. And the crowd here at Petco Park, the 12th sellout of 2024, and an attendance that set a new Petco Park record for attendance over a 3-game series. Again, the total attendance this weekend, 133,970, new record for a 3-game series at Petco Park. The crowd here today, 43,881. Once again, first pitch tomorrow at 6:40, pregame coverage at 5:40. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Frank Marchese, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night, good evening from Petco Park. Again, the final score, the San Diego Padres 4 and the Los Angeles Dodgers 0. We'll talk to you tomorrow from Petco Park on the Padres Radio Network.